Okay, so this guy goes here. I'm gonna go ahead and hook a little piece on there. Little punk. Okay, I'm gonna hook this guy on here. That's good. And then this whole second one, the bigger one, that's where this guy goes. Okay. Push this on here. Okay, ready? Plug back in. I'm gonna get the spring on top of here. I know it goes into this loop. Darn thing. If he wants to pop out. And they're very flimsy springs. Come on, buddy. Try not to bend them and shape them. Okay, so that's that. But I know that this spring is supposed to go on top. There we go, like that. Alright, I think that's close. Like this. I'll bring bolts and go ahead and get them started. Especially the main one here for the gas tank. Get it started by hand. Pretty good there. I'll use my little extension here. I'm going to start the other big bolts over here on the side. And make sure you guys can see that, I guess. Two. I'll show you that, I suppose. A little better. And three. I truly like this kind of work. It's gratifying to be able to take things apart, put things back together, make things work again, understand how they function, tighten up that gas tank. And I'm going to get this last 10 millimeter bolt started, and then I know that everything is lined up, and then torque everything down with my ratchet. So get this guy on. Okay, a little tighter. Okay. And this last guy. Cool. I got this little elbow I'm going to put in there for the air. Just getting all the extra dirt off of here. I don't want to recontaminate the system. Quite sure this only fits one way. The bigger end goes into the carburetor. And I think that's pretty good. Alright. that guy on there. It's good enough. Doesn't have the best fit. And I guess we can roll with that for a bit. Put this on. Worst case, I'll turn it this way. I don't know. Get my flathead. Tighten this on here. I'm gonna add a fuel stabilizer as well. Since our fuel has ethanol, I would like to keep it from absorbing too much water, and I've seen that the red stabilizer helps. I have other equipment in which I use a stabilizer I haven't had to maintain for quite a few years. Continuous run. Just pick it up in the summertime or springtime and able to use it. It overwinters just fine. Then I have equipment that other people will use and don't use a stabilizer, and then they have to constantly rebuild the carburetor in the springtime. So far I find it to be effective. Of course, it's a controversial topic, but to each their own. Let's go grab that fuel. This is a stabilizer that I tend to stick with. So far I've had good luck with it. So that's what I'm going to add. It's supposed to be, 1 ounce for 2.5 gallons. But I'm going to add a little, like a ½ ounce to less than that. A little over isn't going to hurt. I'm not going to put the whole 3/4 ounce. It's just something. Okay. Alrighty. Cap this off. Let's see how she sounds. Come on, buddy. Do you want to start it? You want to turn it this way a little bit? There you go. Let's see. Go ahead. Oh, let me prime it. Sorry. Sorry, go ahead, try that now. Sorry. Want me to do it? Alright, I'll go ahead. Huh? No. Wait for your mom to get back. I'm gonna go ahead and put some more of the carb cleaner in here and see what happens. And then maybe with once I get it started, it'll be all right. I don't think I got any fuel coming up yet. Looks pretty dry in here. I'll go ahead and might not have enough fuel going into there. So I put a whole bunch of carb cleaner in there. And then what I can do is, if this thing does start, I'll add fuel to it a little more. I think it's not filled enough to where the thing can suck it up. It's a weird setup, it really is. Porque la madre no está aquí. Yo no le puedo darle permiso. La madre a veces quiere que ella quede aquí y así es. Nice. Okay, let's see. Maybe we have to go that way.
If my mom says, but we're gonna come back.
I know you're gonna come back. You have to sleep here, but that's not the issue. You know, your mom has to know beforehand. I can't give you that permission. Okay. You're gonna call her? Okay, find out. Anna, you go listen. or C. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little more. And I'm gonna add more fuel. Okay. Alright, add a little more fuel, make sure that the portion that sucks is able to pick up. Now I know this thing's got to be clocked one way or another for it to function. I don't know. There we go. Good enough. Let's see. I'll put this away too. I want to keep any combustibles away from this because I'm not sure how this thing's going to react yet. Okay guys, I'm back with the lawnmower. I was able to order the gasket, and this is a couple days later. I have OEM gasket here, and that's the part number. It's a diaphragm. First thing we're going to do is going to go ahead and remove the air filter. Set that aside. Everything's dew covered. And then I'm going to pull off the elbow here. Set that aside. I have my sockets here. I'm going to go ahead and remove this bracket again. So it's 1, 2, and 3 bolts. I think it was 110 millimeter, which is this guy. Oh, we're gonna use a gearless for this guy. It's so loud. And I think it was 13 for the others. Oh, it's a 14. Oops. 13. Okay, we have 3 13 millimeter bolts. Yikes. Okay. We'll grab our gearless ratchet. Can't see it, can't find it. Feel it, okay. It's on left. I'll go ahead and pull that off. It just facilitates taking these off and making the least amount of noise as possible. It seems to echo at this time of night. Three. And hopefully that light is not washing everything out and that everything is visible enough. I might have put in the tripod a little too high as well. Let's see. Put this back. I hope not to disturb any of the late night animals. Any skunks, any fox. That over there. Alright. Hopefully, bring this out. Undo the spark plug. Hopefully, just set this to the side. And then we have the 5 Phillips screws. That's where I got this from. Or why I got this for. Come on, buddy. So on this carburetor, the only serviceable part is a diaphragm that sits between the gas tank and the carburetor, which basically is the fuel pump for this guy. Okay, I'm going to try to remove these screws here. Oh, one screw. It's not a big deal. So I'll go ahead and do that. And I put that back here. I'm going to get a small extension because I know I did fill this up a little bit here with fuel when I went to test it out after just cleaning. And I'm just using my extension as a driver. Alright, that's good. Pull that bolt. Good. And I'm just going to let it sit here. And pull this straight out. Alright. Let this unhook. Put it straight. Come on, buddy. Just did my nail polish, I better not. Okay, there we go. Yeah, nail polish. Okay. Let's see that diaphragm right here. This part of it would be the pump area. And the spring pushes up against that rapidly and it pumps. But it looks like it's a little overextended. So you can see a bubble. So that might be the case there. Ethanol, now used in most American gasoline, really corrodes the rubber in fuel systems. Okay, everything else looks good. Go ahead and take my knife. Cut open My little pouch here. Come on, buddy. Again. I don't want to set this down. Should be good. Goodness, as sharp as I keep this thing. I don't want to press too hard against myself. Okay. And take care not to damage the gaskets and the diaphragm. One is more of a diaphragm, the other is more of a gasket. Okay, here. And I'm just going to take notice of which is which. So I put this on here correctly. So the diaphragm is first and the gasket is second. That's how it goes. Alright. So it's a fine rubberized sheet. It's a diaphragm right here. I'm going to go ahead and wipe this down lightly. Okay, I got a paper towel here. I'm going to wipe down the surface a little bit here. Seems to be okay. And then I'm going to lay this down like this. I know it's hard to see. I'm a little bit washed out here. I'll take you guys in just a bit here. Okay. So there's the base of the tank here where the carburetor sits. And then I'm lining up the diaphragm part. Okay. And then I have the gasket, which just sits on top. Come on, buddy. And here's the gasket. Ooh. Sorry, I know I forgot I zoomed in. And that goes in like that. Okay, this is the pickup tube. Pickup tube. Stick it in the hole right here. And make sure that the filter, this little screen, is in place. And that the diaphragm spring is in place. And I'm just going to mount everything back together. Maybe a little light wipe. Definitely not used to this type of carburetor. I don't see a needle and seat. It's just an odd setup for me. The first time I've ever seen this. And I'm going to go ahead and start the screws. I'll start one end and then the other end. I'll try to do opposites just to help keep the gasket in place. 2 more screws and then I can tighten everything down. Two, 3, 4, and 5. All good. Now I'll put my little driver away, or at least set it to the side. I've got to get the main spring here latched, which maybe I'll zoom you guys up a little bit. Hold on. Yeah, this guy here. It's a bit straight. It's straight and it hooks into the bigger hole on here. So straight and sideways, boom. And then push it straight on. There's an O-ring here. Alright. Let me get that bolt and start this guy right into the block. Hold the tank in place. Okay, it's almost in. Hold on, where's my long driver? Here we go. I'll use this again. Okay. Boom. Snugged up. And now we're going to bring this guy down here, the bracket. Bring it under spark plug wire there. I'll back you guys up a bit. And it's just going to lay like this, a little higher. Just make sure that the opening here is where the spark plug wire is coming out of, so it doesn't get pinched. Alright. I'll start the little one first over here. You always want to get all your bolts started first, and then go back and torque them down. Okay, they're all tight. I'll put this guy back, and then I'll use my 10mm and then tighten up my little guy here. Okay. So high throttle, low, high, low, and then we can try it out. And don't forget to plug your spark plug back in. Magneto. Set this guy in. Tighten it up. Alright. Should be good to go to test out. We'll see. I'll zoom you out. And I'll back up a bit. You can't exactly go into the grass. It's just one big muddy field over here. Oh boy. Let me prime a couple times. There's 3 times there. We'll try it out. Alright, here we are again. I picked up both mowers from my sister's house. I replaced the diaphragm and the gasket for the carburetor, but this is a plastic carburetor, which I'm not very fond of. And so far I've had no luck in getting it started. Now I pulled the plug, and I don't know if you could tell, but this is quite wet. So I'm going to use my torch and burn off the fuel here and also inside the cylinder. Now I don't recommend anybody doing this, but I've done this in the past, and it's just an easy way for me to burn off the rest of the fuel that's in there. And I take precautions. I don't have anything else flammable near me. This is metal, okay, but I have MAP gas as my torch. Old school. I don't even think they make MAP gas anymore. I think it's all propane. I also have a hose behind me. It's all ready to go in case something ignites, but if you have a fuel spill, I wouldn't recommend using water. Use an extinguisher, which I also carry in the truck. See, I suspect I might have water still in the cylinder, because I know the gas tank was contaminated with water. But it smells like fuel, so I'm going to go with this first. And hopefully burn everything off. See, it acts like water, interestingly enough. So I'm going to get the spark plug wire out the way. The closest I can get is it to ignite and run for about a couple seconds, and it cuts off. That's my issue. Alright, what I'm going to do, turn it over a few times. See how we go. I know the tip is hot. Oh, mother crapper. It's still pretty hot. Alright. I have enough wire here. Okay. Worst case scenario, if this thing doesn't work, I'm going to transfer this entire motor, the old motor, to this, because the body is the issue I have with the old one. The old one, it's a regular metal carburetor, which I like, and I have an external fuel hose, whereas this one doesn't. I have a fuel filter on that, where I can't on this. A few things I don't like off the bat. You have a lot of fuel come out of there, or water or something out of there, so I'll go ahead and repeat the process until I see that everything's dry every time I rotate the engine. Not enough. My daughter's at work today, but what I would have done is had her rotate the engine while I have this here, and what you would see is plumes of fire. If in fact the cylinder was flooded, it would shoot out, ignite and put out, ignite and put out, put itself out. But that's only if it's flooded. If it's oil or anything else, it won't do that. If it's water, it'll just fizzle. I'll try to do it myself here. Yeah, okay. Get a little bit of feel there. Not much. The map gas isn't hot enough to melt anything as far as aluminum. So that's why I don't mind holding this flame into the port. Won't hurt anything. Let me see if I can actually pull this down myself. I'm a weakling. Do you want to plug this back in? It still looks wet, and I'll use the cuff of my pants to wipe it down. Still is hot. And it smells like fuel, but it's so hard to tell. I'm tempted to spray this down with CARB cleaner, which I think I'm going to do. CARB cleaner. See if I can dry this off. Let's see how that goes. Wipe it off again with the cuff of my pants. I don't have a rag on me. I don't feel like looking for one. Looks a little better. I know I have a good strong spark. I check it out on its own. So I'm just going to finger tight that in. I'm not going to run it long. Plug it back in, and we'll try to give it a go. I'm going to try carb clean again. The intake. And try it again. A bit high. Okay, I'll try that. Okay. Well, it runs. Okay, Alright, this is going to be the third time I'm going to try it. I have the cover back off. I gave it more slack on this spring. Let's see what it does. Hey, just to recap, before I put you guys away, I almost forgot to show you the old mower. Let me undo this. I almost forgot. I promised you guys that in the beginning. Amazing what a torch and patience can do. Okay. Holy cannoli, it's hot. Okay. So, this is the mower. I don't know if you guys can see this or not. Under here, I can pull that off real quick. But right under there's a seam, and it's split right through. I'll get my tools and pull that cover off. I plan on salvaging the engine anyway. Alrighty. I don't know if you can see that now. I'll bring you guys closer. Hopefully the sun isn't too bad. Oh. This nice split right here. The only thing that was holding it intact was this guy, this plastic thing. And anytime you hit a bump or uneven ground, the blade would hit the side. So I'm glad to be done with this guy. But like I said, I'm gonna salvage the engine, this entire area here. The blade doesn't look too bad either. I can always resharpen that. And the wheels. The wheels seem to be a little better condition. But we'll see. The rest of it done. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. There it is in use. She's happy with it. Starts on her first pull. First or second pull, which is a big improvement from the other one apparently. Cool. I'm happy with that. I'm happy she's happy.